Hey, all you cool cunts and cum sluts. What up? Is your fucking boy DJ Fucknut in the house, and today we're going to be talking about the downsides and the good sides of being sober. Now, me as a sober man myself, and having previously been a massive fucking junkie degenerate fuckwit, I am more than qualified to talk about this area. In fact, I would consider it my prime most area of expertise. So now, without further ado, let's fucking talk about the upsides of being sober. So, turns out alcohol has a shit ton of calories in. Doesn't matter what you're drinking, beer, wine, prosecco, spirits, whatever the fuck it is, it contains a fucking lot of calories. So if you're drinking regularly, you're gonna pork the fuck up. It's basic maths. Calories in versus calories out. And if you're like me, and you had 24 pints of Guinness in one day, yes, that actually did fucking happen, then you're gonna get chubby. You're gonna pork the fuck up. You're gonna turn into Preston fucking Pig. And also, your skin, your hair, your nails, that's gonna go down the toilet as well. Now, obviously, being sober, it means you're not drinking, you're not doing that shit. So, naturally, you are going to look better. And it's so fucking delicious. Some of the biggest fucking cunts, like, that I knew way back when. Like, I've seen them, like, here and there. And, oh fucking boy, have they gotten fat. Oh, it's delicious. It's like, haha, look at you, you fucking fat bitch. Say that about me, bitch. Now look at me, I'm fucking skinny, bitch. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, I want to elaborate on the previous point a little bit more. So, drinking any amount of alcohol will slow down your metabolism significantly. So you can exercise every day, but if you're still drinking at the end of it, you're not going to burn as many calories as if you were to not drink at all. Now, on the more drug side of things, for stims especially, like the shit that I was taking speed, you lose out on so much sleep. You'll stay awake for like 3 consecutive days, sometimes even longer. I stayed awake for 5 days during my A-levels, and oh boy, your eyes will get sunken in, your skin will go all red, patchy, and maybe even puffy. You'll be horrible, you'll have acne breakouts, you're gonna lose a fuck ton of weight, you're gonna look just disgusting and gaunt. So you guys might have heard of the halo effect, where basically good things come to those who look good, and if you're not looks maxing, I mean, I would say I'm at least 600% more attractive now than I was back in my junkie days. I mean, just look at these fucking images. Yeah, absolutely sickening and horrendous. And another thing, not my proudest moment, but when I took crystal meth, I fucking shot up crystal meth. Yep, that's right, the big Walter White. I hit that fucking Scarte Mr. White through my veins, and it was so unsanitary for days after. Like, my girlfriend will be the first to tell you I had stinky doo-doo caca breath, and I fucking stank like minge, unwashed council house minge. Oh boy, there's this musk, this unsanitary musk that just plagues your, like, yeah, it's a very bad affliction, smelling bad and doing that shit. Like, basically, if you're sober, you won't have any of this shit to worry about. You will be showering daily. You'll, take care of your hygiene, and on top of that, you'll probably be getting the right nutrients and sleep to look good, feel good. So yes, that's reason number one. It went on for a fucking long time, but there it is. Now, sobriety pro number 2, sleep. So, it took me, I'd say, a good couple weeks or months after stopping everything, stopping the drinking, stopping the drugs, to actually finally get into a rigid sleep routine where I could function as a normal human being. And when you are, like, obviously on stims, you can stay awake for like 3 days. That means you're going to be sleeping when you finally do go to sleep for like 20 hours. I actually had to go to the GP. It got so bad back in March. Oh my god. And you know what the fucking GP's advice was? Set an alarm. Like, oh shit, bruv, I hadn't actually thought of that. But now you get good quality sleep, and like, when you are sober, it is good sleep. Like, you sleep, and then unless you need to piss, then you're fucked. You might piss yourself, and that's not good, unless you're into that. On like day 2 of being awake, where I actually would try and go to sleep, I just couldn't. I would be wriggling around in bed, just sweating fucking bollocks. My feet would be freezing. I'll get like 30 minutes of half lucid fucking sleep. We were basically like sleep paralysis. And oh, let me tell you, the sweat that used to come off of my body stank like the fucking crackhead down at the local landfill. I was disgusting, so unsanitary. Perhaps the biggest motivator for me to actually get sober was point number 3. You have more disposable income. Now, when you're when you're addicted to something, like it's usually a cross addiction. Like for me, it was get stimmed, and then obviously when you're on speed, all you want to do is smoke. So I was going through 20 Marlboro Reds a day. That is £16.50 in the UK, down at my local Shell garage. And then I was obviously drinking on top of that to, like, you know, take the edge off. So that was 90 quid a week. No, sorry, 90 quid every 2.5 weeks for 28 grams of speed. On top of that, every single day, a pack of Marlboro Red for £16.50. On top of that, all of the alcohol I would consume from either the pub, which is like £6 a fucking pint now, or like a 4-pack of Corona, again from the Shell garage for £7 fucking 50. Like, you work that out. I'm not gonna fucking do it. I literally got the shittiest in my class in GCSE maths. And to make matters worse, I was a fucking pizza delivery driver on £8, a single digit an hour. So yeah, I was a fucking broke boy. I was not balling. I was most certainly not the Dingle Dolphin. Now, you're probably wondering, what do I spend my money on nowadays? Let me tell you, chicken. Oh, fuck me, I go for a family pack of chicken every 2 days. That's 10 chicken breasts, 5 chicken breasts a day, all this other healthy shit. You go to Tesco, 125 grams of asparagus. It's fucking 2 quid. That's like 1 serving of asparagus. So yeah, I'm not in a much better position now financially, but still, at least I'm spending it on, like, healthy shit. Now, point number 4, you are gonna be so much more tolerable sober than you are drunk. Like, the people I used to hang around with when I was, like, a massive nitty, it's like, I've seen, like, a few of them here and there now, and Jesus Christ, I didn't realize just how obnoxious, like, intoxicated people are. Like, under the influence, you do not realize how much of a fucking twat and a bellend, because that whole, like, your whole perception of, like, being conscientious of others and the way that you're acting, you're in that fucking I don't give a shit mentality because you got all of this shit going through your system. The point is, sobriety provides clarity, and that's exactly what you need if you're going to be mindful of, like, the way others see you. People will like you better sober. It's as simple as that. It's like, sure, you might be Mr. Fun Guy, like, when you're all fucking boozed up and whatnot, but people are going to be able to trust you, rely on you, and have a better overall impression here if you're sober. The next pro of being sober, being able to function on a day-to-day, this kind of links into my last point about, or the 2 previous points actually, with the sleeping and, you know, people tolerating you and shit, because, oh, well, yeah, obviously, if you're not sleeping and you're staying awake for 3 whole days, how the fuck are you gonna work a job? It's like, I actually had to call, like, call in so often making up these bullshit excuses as to why I couldn't work. I'd obviously be, you know, driving under the influence and all this shit, you know, like putting people's lives in danger, committing crimes day in, day fucking out. It just was no way to function. I wasn't eating, and if I had plans that didn't align with, like, the stim cycle, you know, the 3 days awake, obviously being absolutely just out of it on the 3rd day and then sleeping for an entire day and a half, then, like, I couldn't do it if it didn't. But obviously, if you're sober, you have the 24-hour period, you're sleeping for like 7 hours, you're getting up, you're doing the shit that you need to do, you know, gym, going to work, you know, making some fucking bread, and, you know, you might have a little time to see your friends on the side. Like, it works out very nicely. If you are not sober, you cannot do it. And I'll see these fucking people being like, because I was one of these people, I'll be like, I would die on the hill that, oh yeah, speed makes me able to do more things. I have more energy to do this and that. I have more time in my day because I don't sleep and I don't bother eating. Therefore, I am more productive, can do more shit. No, because sooner or later, you are going to crash. And then you're going to be out for a fucking day or 2 or maybe even a week if you can't get a re-up on that shit. So shut the fuck up. I know what I'm talking about, bitch. Alright, and the last pro of being sober. This is kind of one I think is unique to me because I don't see anyone else talking about it. But if I was either drinking or on fucking drugs, what I'd have this feeling that, like, it was never enough. Whatever I was doing, it just wasn't enough. If I, you know, snorted a line in the morning, I was, you know, to get me out of bed, a bit like your morning coffee, then by doing that, I would be like, well, now, like, obviously I'm feeling good, I need to go do something. I was just never okay with mundanity, the mundane things, and just kind of doing nothing, like, I don't know, playing video games, watching TV. I couldn't sit still and do it. Whereas I very, very much appreciate just that downtime that I get now. And it's no way to live, just never being satisfied with whatever it is that you're occupied with. You heard it here first. The number one, the undisputed fucking king of downsides of sobriety is, what the fuck am I supposed to do as an adult? As a 20-year-old, what am I supposed to do that doesn't involve going out, drinking, partying, taking drugs, or a combination of all of those things? Tell me, what am I supposed to do? Go to fucking globals? And this issue is a fucking million times worse for me. You know why? Because I live in the Sussex countryside where there is shit all to fucking do. In my surrounding areas, you walk down the high street, what do you have? You have bars, pubs, and fucking charity shops. Obviously, the latter of which shuts at around 4 or 5, so anytime after that, what the fuck am I, a 20-year-old, supposed to do with my fucking free time? And it's like, if I do go to the pub, obviously I'm going to want fucking drink, so that's why I just avoid it. It's a lose-lose situation. Being sober fucking sucks if you have a lot of fucking free time and you want to do shit like, that's fun, recreationally. Right, downside number 2 to being sober. You are fucking a million times more boring than you are on. I'm just gonna say it plain. Like, if you're fucking drunk, you are gonna be, like, having more fun than you are sober. And same with fucking drugs as well. Like, I remember back in college, I only attended college where I was sober for 2 entire days across the 2 fucking years. And on those 2 days, oh my god, I was just... Because obviously when you are so often stimmed up for a prolonged period of time, you have this very much inflated sense of self-confidence and ego. So then when you are sober, you're obviously drawing a comparison to like how you are now, which is boring, to how chatty and like, just talkative you were back in the glory days, as it were. Like, there are so many conversations as a sober man now that I just take a fucking backseat in that I never would have done back in the day. Because I was always chatting out my arse, and blabbering and yapping on about this and that. But can't say the same anymore. Very much more introverted than I've ever been. Right, con number whatever the fuck it is. This one might just be me again, to be honest. But it's like losing a passion, well, losing a hobby in fact, sober. It's like there was a hobby that I did that I could do all day, every day when I was on speed. In fact, that's exactly what I did. I would spend maybe the entire 3-day cycle just sat on my laptop making music. And ever since I've sobered up, I just haven't fucking touched it. It's like, it makes me wonder, like, is Kanye West, when he made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and flew out everyone to that island, was he, on fucking speed? Was he sniffing fatty racks with, like, Rihanna and shit on that private island? Because he slaved for, I think, months. He was in that studio for months, just, like, tweaking little things. And it sounds exactly like what I was like when I was making music on speed. I could literally just sit at the laptop and just alter like the master track or just a single fucking multi-band compressor on just one out of 100 instruments in like a song, and it can be completely satisfied. And my music was getting better and better and better, and it just stopped being sober. I just can't do it. I just don't have the attention span, so that kind of fucking sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Right, con number whatever the fuck it is. This is a big one, and the ease of relapsing. You do not understand how fucking tempting it is. Like, when you're having a shit fucking day, the first thing you want to do is reach for like a bottle of Corona with a lime wedge, and then obviously when you have one drink, you have another and another. The most recent time I drank it was Christmas Day. Unfortunately, like, I was just surrounded by my fucking family, so obviously wasn't gonna whip out the fucking bag of gear and just start going to town sniffing up fat slugs in front of them, was I? But like, even the first drink that I had was a Prosecco, and oh my god, it's just the way that alcohol makes you feel. You just immediately want to get fucking geared up. ASAP. Yeah, I limit my drinking to like 1 day a month now. Like going forward, that's what it's going to be. Before that, I hadn't drank in like 3 months. But it's so easy. There's so many opportunities that I could have had a drink that have been so hard to resist. Like my mate recently, it was his 20th birthday. So I went round to his and he prepared up all of these, like, you know, amazing fucking drinks. And I felt so bad because he'd spent all of this time and money preparing us these custom cocktails that I'd never heard of before. They looked really good. Kind of looked like a fucking chug jug. But I sat there, like, not drinking it. And, like, I don't think anyone else really drank it either. But, you know, I had my reasons. I'm trying to stay fucking sober. And just one drink can be like enough to fucking push you over the edge and get you back in that mindset. Because if you have a drink and then you get hammered, you're gonna wake up the next day feeling absolutely rotten, and you're like, oh fuck it, like it's a sunk cost now. It's like my sobriety streak is over. I might as well just go and get fucked up. Especially at first, when I first stopped doing speed, it was really, really hard. That shit actually has such a fucking mental grip over like you. It's so debilitating. Literally couldn't do anything, like, for fuck's sake, Minnie, piss off. My very sincerest apologies. That was my other half trying to contact me. However, I told that dumb bitch to shut the fuck up. Anyways, moving on. What was I saying? Oh yeah, debilitating fucking speed. Like, definitely it's gotten so much easier over time. The longer that I've stayed off of it, the easier it is to stay off of it. Like, I just remember how terrible I felt for the majority of it, which is really surprising considering like how much I wanted to do it. You would think that I was having the time of my life when, you know, very much the opposite was true. But those first like few weeks and months, the first few weeks I was out. I couldn't do anything and I felt awful. Wanted to fucking die. I didn't want to kill myself. I just felt indifferent to the thought of just like keeling over and kicking the fucking bucket at the grand old age of 19. But yeah, it gets easier as you go on. But yeah, I just remember the first month I did, you know, sneak in a couple of lines here and there, and it was every single time because I hadn't stopped drinking at the time that I'd stopped speed, but I had to stop drinking because every time that I was drinking I was doing like a couple of lines of speed and then like keeping it a fucking secret, and I was like, okay, this has to stop. I can't go on like this. So oh boy, the ease of getting back into the swing of things, like, yeah, terrible, absolutely terrible. Might even be the number one downside to being sober. Right, for this next one, I felt it important to actually write a little script for it because I don't think I'll do it justice just waffling on. So, point number, I've fucking lost count. The curse of having a perfect sober memory. So, let me start. When you're under the influence, you don't really stop and think about what you're doing. You just do it. If you're like me and did it long enough, you eventually rack up an encyclopedia of terrible acts you committed. Like I mentioned before, when you're high, you think you're so much more important than you are. Delusion. It's only after sobering up, you look back on it and think, wow, I really said that to so-and-so? Every last cringeworthy display of cuntitude I committed back then is constantly plaguing my every waking second in the present. I literally couldn't have given a fuck at the time. With a perfect sober memory and mentality, there's nothing to distract myself from the shit I know I did. Other drivers on the road must think I'm lobotomized. I have no idea why I do this, but when I'm driving alone, my brain switches to autopilot mode, giving it all the time in the world to throw some fucking curveball, reminding me about the time I did that or said this. My natural response is to just begin shouting random gibberish to fill the silence. Earlier today, out of absolutely nowhere, I started chanting, "Punis, punis, penis, punis." Fucking make of that what you will. Now this is a lesser point than the previous couple, but I still think it's worth mentioning. And that is, what the actual fuck are you supposed to order, like, with your meal when you go out? Because I get so many dirty looks when the waiter comes over or I'm up at the bar and I order a fucking soda lime cordial. Like, if I'm in a pub with a bunch of dudes, a bunch of geezers, they look at me like I've just fucking choke slammed a dildo down my fucking throat, you know? It's like, am I gay for not ordering alcohol? Absolutely fucking not. Because I'm sober doesn't mean I suck penis. But like, the fucking way people treat you for ordering soft drinks, it's like, bruv, yeah. Again, it's kind of inconsequential, but definitely, like, seriously, still a massive downside.